Hello, big boy. It's Baba. So today, it's slightly different because I have my story here to read to you. And you can watch me right here. So I'm going to read the story from here, so you don't have to see the text, you can see me. Okay, and I'll talk to you. Just thought it might be a little bit different than just seeing the writing. I could put the writing over the top as well. We'll see what we can do with the video in a minute. But if you remember what happened in chapter 6, Rainbow was asking if she could have some extra morsels out in the yard. And she was asking for some extra food, those morsels of food. And this little morsel was a piece of worm. She said, could she have half a piece of worm? And Wolf said, no, you can't. And she said, please, let me have just a little teensy bitsy bit. And the wolf was still saying, no, you can't. And he was saying, quit stalling and wasting time. And if you remember, little Jimmy Tractor Wheel, not Johnny, and Jimmy Tractor Wheel, Farmer Tractor Wheel's son, was creeping through the forest outside Wolf Waldo's den. And if you remember how quiet he was being, and as Baba was telling the story to Mackenzie and Stefan, they'd got to the seaside, hadn't they? At Jones's beach. And they took their shoes off and they ran into the deep, soft sand of Jones's beach. And they were stumbling and falling and laughing and getting sand in their ears and hair and down their necks and up their sleeves and also in their pockets. You see, it was autumn, a cool day, and the water was too chilly to swim in, but the boys raced along the damp sand at the water's edge, and once in a while a wave would come up further than the others and lick their heels with the icy tongue of the water. Meanwhile, Mackenzie's father was sitting on a blanket assembling the big box kite. Big box kite. It's a super big type of kite. There were so many sticks to be fitted into so many other sticks to make the box. Mackenzie's father had his glasses on and seemed to be working very hard. Presently, he stood up and called to the boys. The kite was ready. It was as big as Mackenzie. Now watch her fly, said Mackenzie's father. He ran across the beach, holding the kite by its string. It just bumped along on the sand. Let me try it, said Mackenzie. He could hardly pull the big kite, but he ran across the beach with it. Still, it wouldn't fly. Then Stefan ran with it, and still it wouldn't fly. The wind, when it should go up, said Mackenzie's father. It should go up. But something must be wrong, said Mackenzie. Yep, his father nodded. You can fix it, Daddy, said Mackenzie. With courage and patience, you can fix anything. Come on, Steffi, let's be cowboys. And the boys galloped away. Baba studied the box kite very carefully, and then he untied a string here and put it there, and untied a string there and put it here. The boys raced by on imaginary broncos, firing imaginary pistols into the air. Mackenzie's father called to them. I'm going to try to get the kite to fly one more time, he said. I'm going to run it from here to the edge of the water. If she doesn't go up in the air by the time I get to the water, I'm going to throw it in the ocean. Yipe! Cried the boys. They didn't know which would be more fun, to see the kite in the air or Baba fall in the water. Mackenzie's father held the kite high in his hand. In the other hand, he held a ball of string. He began to run. Suddenly the kite left his hand, and it began to climb, slowly but steadily, up, up, up. Mackenzie's father was running hard. The boys were shouting. Mackenzie's father, looking up at the kite, tripped over a piece of driftwood and fell on his face in the sand. But he held onto the string. Higher and higher went the kite. Mackenzie's father let the boys take turns holding the string. It was exciting because if you accidentally let go of the string, the kite would come tumbling down out of the sky. When lunchtime came, they hauled the kite in and sat on the blanket and opened the basket. There were sandwiches and tomatoes and a thermos of milk and some oranges and some cookies. The boys ate as much as they wanted and then stretched out the blanket in the warm sun. Think you could take a snooze? said Mackenzie's father. The boy said no. I could, said Baba. First some rainbow, said Mackenzie. Will that make you sleepy? The boy said no. It will kill me, said Mackenzie's father. Well, where were we? Oh yes, almost finished. The wolf said rainbow had come in this very minute and had to be eaten there and then. If you want to eat me, shouted the proud little hen, you'll have to catch me first. And turning, she scurried across the clearing toward the brush where Jimmy lay hiding. Ah! cried the wolf. I can catch you in 2 leaps. He squatted on his haunches with his big butcher knife teeth glistening in the morning sunlight and made one giant leap that carried him to the centre of the clearing outside of Waldo's house. And at that very moment, a 5-year-old James tractor wheel jumped out from behind the juniper bush, holding a baseball bat firmly in both hands. Halt! said Jimmy. Jimmy! cried the hen. Yipe! screamed the wolf. Rainbow was so overjoyed to see Jimmy that she flapped her wings and flew right to his shoulder and perched there. Jimmy put all of his muscle and all of his weight into one swing of the Louisville slugger and brought it down on the wolf's head. Bong! The wolf smiled foolishly and sank to his knees. Now, what I want to know is this. Do you boys want Jimmy to hit the wolf again and kill him? Or tie him up with some rope and drag him home and put him in a cage, or what? How do you want the story to end? Steffi, you are company. You say first. Stefan smiled shyly and shrugged his shoulders. Ask Mackenzie, he said. It's his story. Steffi, you are a very good, kind, polite young boy. A credit to your mum and dad, said Mackenzie's father. Then he turned to his son and said, Mackenzie, you are also very kind, polite, and a very good boy. And as Steffi says, it is your story. What should we do with the wolf? Make it that he gets up and runs away, said Mackenzie. His father could hardly believe his ears. Let the wolf run away? Yes, said Mackenzie. as fast as his legs will carry him. You don't want the wolf to be, or even captured. Mackenzie shook his head. This is the first time you've ever wanted the wolf to get away. What is this? Be kind to wolves, weak. Mackenzie's eyes were shining, and he spoke in a loud whisper. If the wolf gets away, he will come back and steal Rainbow again. Yeah, cried Stefan. You want that to happen? Cried Mackenzie's father. Mackenzie nodded, yes. Say, whose side are you on anyway? Said Baba. You can kill the wolf at the end, but this way we can have more story, said Mackenzie. Yeah, said Stefan. So go on, said Mackenzie. And so Mackenzie's father made it that the wolf got up from his knees and staggered into the deep green forest, and then the boys took a rest on the blanket on the sand with the waves roaring agreeably in their ears. Well, let's see what happens to the wolf this time. Is the wolf going to come back, Mackenzie? Is the wolf going to come back and try to steal Rainbow from Jimmy Tractor Wheel? Who knows what's going to happen next in chapter 8. But I think Mackenzie in this story is very smart. Do you think Mackenzie is smart in this story? I think he's being very clever because he's getting Baba, his father, to tell more of the story and keep us going. There's only a couple more chapters to go. I wonder what's going to happen with Waldo Wolf, Jimmy Tractor Wheel, Steffi, and, of course, Rainbow. Right then, big boy. Night-night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. You know why? Because Baba loves you very much. Night-night.